you know you're gonna have to get down at some point. Oh, poor kitty. We have a viewer. We have 2 viewers. Was that loud? I think people can see my untidy desk. Oh no. Then they'll know. Then they'll know that sometimes my desk is untidy. Oh no. Oh no. We can't have that. Gotta be perfect. You gotta be perfect. That's right. Alright. Come on. How about you get down from here? Because, yeah. There we go. Wow. Wow. Yeah, you're feeling pretty good, huh? It's a good day. So, I thought it would be fun to get on here and informally chat and work on this vest that I've been making all winter. Do some progress on it and also just chat in the meantime. So, hi. I have been, I don't know how to talk about this. I had heard there was a shooting that happened in Atlanta a few days ago, but I hadn't really looked into it, and I actually learned about the details last night and was pretty emotionally impacted by it. I mean, I thought it would be good to come here and talk about it, I guess, because it's, I had a lot of thoughts running through my head, you know, and I don't know how everyone else has responded to it. I've been really trying to cut down on media consumption, so I don't know if anyone's talked about it or responded to it, but I feel really just sad about it, and I don't know where to begin, you know? I don't really know where to begin because there's just so many layers to what was going on in that situation, and I was really struck by kind of the silence around, I think, one of the main motivations behind the killings, which was that these women were working in massage parlors. There was like no context of the nature of prostitution that is associated with those types of places, and the fact that the women, not all the women killed, but the majority of them killed, were employed as, you know, massage therapists in these establishments. Now, I don't know the details about what was going on in these establishments, but I do know what generally does go on, and felt like I wanted to say something because kind of the history of this channel was started a long time ago when I was really kind of facing a lot of what I saw as the extreme cultural misogyny that was playing out in various aspects of the sex industry, and I kind of became obsessive about learning about violence against women and how, violence against women who are working in various forms of like sex work were, what was going on there, and what drives and motivates that kind of violence. I guess that was kind of what started this whole journey of me kind of becoming interested in these topics, I don't know if it was the beginning of that, but I guess in a public way, that's how it was. And I just felt like really distressed that, I don't know, that angle wasn't really being analyzed or looked at except by I don't want to say it wasn't being looked at, but not in any public way, not in any public way. And I just, I don't know. I also don't want to get involved in any kind of conversations about it, which is where a lot of the times when tragedies happen, people get very tribalistic, I would say, and try to make the issue all about their issue that they care about, so I'm not trying to do this and make this one issue. I know that multiple layers of internalized belief systems and patterns of violence have kind of led to this point, and I think that oftentimes these tragedies are reflections of things that are not being dealt with in the culture. So also I just find it really sad, and I think we don't know how to grieve collectively at times like this. There doesn't seem to be any there are patterns, I suppose, that happen, but none of it seems to be healthy, and we're encouraged to stay, I guess, in these various patterns of grief. So I've been kind of going through and feeling a lot of different ways since I kind of learned about this and went and kind of did my own research about it. I just wanted to say something, I think things like this are really devastating. I also thought it was interesting that 4 of the women who were killed were Korean. So I have worked with a lot of Korean women over the past 5 years, and I just kind of, I don't even know what to think from that angle, especially in such a short spree killing that all these women could come from the same nation, and also be guests in the US, and it had me thinking about how vulnerable women from other nations are who live in the US, is when you're perceived as a foreigner, it's just things are that much more tough. So I don't know, I'm sure you all are having your own thoughts about what happened, but I wanted to just kind of share some of my own. I talked to my friend Griselda via last night about it, and I know I've recommended her channel many times before, but she did a brief video kind of talking about how this type of male violence is really rooted in Christian like dogma that is absorbed in this Western culture where like anything designated female, you know, which is other to the like patriarchal white male standard, is therefore projected onto with all of the animal instincts, all of the sexuality and things that are not convenient for pretending that we live in this ordered society where there are rules, you know. Anything that flies in the face of that is designated female or feminine, and thus is projected onto with these characteristics. And you know, it really does kind of speak to the roots of a lot of this a lot of what we are facing, you know. The root is that there has been a spiritual sickness that has been brought on by this practice. And in terms of how it impacts women and those designated like other feminized in those ways, it just it has a really devastating impact on like our whole culture. So I just, you know, I'm trying to figure out how we get out of that cycle as a, yes, happy Equinox, by the way. I don't know, I want us to figure out how to get out of this cycle of continuing throughout the generations this projection of nature and the natural world onto like womankind. And actually I just was thinking now about what is it, Susan Griffin's book, Woman in Nature, right? A lot of feminists, you know, the second wave did talk about this a lot, where and this is kind of where the kind of analysis of the sex class comes in, because what we're talking about is that we've been, as a people, projected onto in this way, right? And so all of the responsibility for human sexuality falls on the female to, you know, bear responsibility for, and thus as well we have to live up to this standard of chasteness. And when you can't, because you're just trying to survive in the world, it's it just has a really strong and deadly impact, I think. And the messages that men think, not men like in general, but there is this unconscious belief, I think, that is understood in the minds of men who feel like they have to destroy women who tempt them, like that, because she is the source of that she is the source of his temptation, because she is the one who is sexual and he is not. And it's always kind of intrigued me, because one thing that really irritated me a lot, like arguments that I would be met with by people, were that like women have, they believe that in the past it was the case that women were not believed to be sexual at all. And it's always been the case that women have been the sex that is deemed the sexual one, right? Like, that's always been the case. I think culturally, like, I don't know, there's been a real male sexuality is like the elephant in the room a lot of the time, but the belief has always been that females were being destroyed by our sexual nature because it was too intense. I mean, this is why women had their, you know, organs removed a lot of the time in the past, because they believed that we were being like made ill by our organs, which, you know, were producing this animalistic aspect of ourself that needed to be tamed and, you know, domesticated through husbandry. I wrote about all this a long time ago, but it just kind of started my thoughts about this kind of stuff, and thinking about like how far removed the culture is from this kind of discussion at all when it comes to these experiences of like spree killings or even serial killers with women as well. They don't really address this kind of belief system that exists in the culture, specifically around to the value of, I think, female life. It becomes less valuable the more sexual it is, or it is viewed to be as well, because again, I think man, in the course of trying to pretend to be civilized, has, you know, has to in some way deny or ignore the existence of their animal nature. And so that is then projected onto often very vulnerable women. So anyway, back to crocheting. I don't really have anything else to say, I suppose, about it. It just made me sad too, I guess is what I'll say. It made me really sad. Is everyone ready for spring? Has anybody started spring cleaning? I know I have. It feels really good to just like go through my cabinets and drawers and like check expiration dates on all kind. You know, like I was looking at my vitamins today and like throwing out anything that might be expired, and feels good. I'm inspired this year for all of that. And now it's great that I'm almost at a new season and I'm looking at hopefully getting this project finished that I've been working on. Raised beds for your garden, awesome. That sounds nice. What will you be growing in your garden? Oh, that's really sweet. That's cool. I love having like community spaces like that. It has been so long since I grew my own vegetables. Although I did do some work with my plants, so I'm going to be doing some work with my plants this spring too, moving them around into some of them into different pots, and you know, changing where they're being located to maximize their, I don't know, just quality of life. What else are people like doing for spring? Any plans of spring cleaning or gardening or projects started in the spring? You plan to, what? You plan to have allergies this spring? Oh, hummingbird feeder. That sounds lovely. I love hummingbirds. They're so wonderful. I love when I see a hummingbird. I hope you get plenty of them. They're just such, I don't know. They're incredible to watch. I have been getting together like my snacks for the birds. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get out and feed the birds sometime soon. I know that a family of crows have been nesting near my home, so I want to like, you know, go say hi and see if they like have any babies. Kombucha, nice. I used to do that when I had a bit more space, but I haven't. I don't know, I haven't really tried to make kombucha in years. The last attempt was an utter failure. And I don't know. I don't know if I can really. I don't know if I can really deal with that anymore, honestly. Maybe I should just let that dream go. I don't need to do it. But I would like to do other little projects like that. My friend brought me over some fire cider that she made recently, so I thought it'd be cool to make something like that just to have for my own health and that kind of thing. It was really good too. Like, I actually got into it. The first initial taste was kind of like rough, but then I enjoyed it thoroughly. I really am so happy. Heard of it. From what I understand, it was like apple cider vinegar, I think. And you soak a bunch of different herbs and vegetables in it. So she had put in like, I'm not going to remember everything, but rose hips, garlic, onions, thyme, rosemary. God, there were other things I know. Just things with a lot of, you know, nutrients and that are good for fighting various issues. Like a lot of the different ingredients were things that could be used to treat, you know, various mild infections or like just keep you high in vitamin C, that kind of thing. So that was nice, and it kind of got me thinking like, I could could probably do something like that. It is cool watching your kombucha grow, though. I used to love watching the little bubbles form in the tea and just seeing the, what is it, the SCOBY get bigger and bigger, or the mother just growing more and more discs. I always found that like really fascinating, and how it could like looked when it would peel. But you know, I watched this video years ago too where these people were making like disposable clothing out of kombucha SCOBY. It was very interesting. They made this kind of waterproof material or something. That wasn't waterproof. What was it? Actually, it might have been water. Like it might have dissolved in water. I don't know. So it wouldn't work in this climate, but it was interesting to watch. Oh, SCOBY candy. That's interesting. How does your mom do that? How do you make it into candy? You just dry it out? That makes sense. Sugar is involved. I haven't had kombucha in a while, actually. I used to have it all the time. Maybe I'd feel better. Who knows? I had, well, 16 viewers, but not a lot of chat. I can't chat if you all don't chat with me. That it's a give and take kind of thing. Seth cannot carry the conversation. I'm just gonna say that. Like, clearly you want to watch me chat, but you don't want to be the one to facilitate the chat. I don't know. I don't know what to think of that. I really don't. How have I been? Not very good. I've been pretty ill since January and not, I don't know, but things aren't things aren't completely bad. Like, things in my life are, bad in some areas, but really good in other areas. So, time to kind of, just one of those times where you have to dig kind of down deep and focus on what is good and positive in your life, and try to make do with what isn't. My drawing videos, oh, I'm glad you liked those were interesting. I'm drawing, like, my drawing habit has kind of changed a bit, like how I go about doing it. I don't really sit for the kind of extended chunks of time as much lately. I kind of start the outline of a project and then add to it here and there as time permits. That's kind of what's going on with my practice. So it's just, I haven't really felt like, time's been slow nowadays. What? My time, or time in general has been slow. Okay, whatever. I don't know. Time has not been so slow for me, but I think the thing is, like, the more time I take, funnily enough, the better things are. Something to consider, like, it can be done fast, right? And it can be done cheap, but it won't be done good. So that's just kind of maybe how to think about it. Being a bit more slow with our projects and letting ourselves take the time necessary to do a good job is probably, in the long term, the right choice. Let's see where we are at here. I think, it's time to make a bit of a change, so. Put that there. Okay, I like that a bit better. Okay. Don't mind me just doing some stitch counting, very important part of the process. So, how do I want to mark this stitch? Moving around me, I've kind of moved some of my stuff that was out here, so I don't know where it is now. If I put it, I think, with the rest of my art supplies, so. I agree with that. March has been exceptionally fast. I mean, it's what, March 21st? I feel like March just started. This has been the longest, slowest year, I would say, in my entire life. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like everything happened yesterday, but it also feels like a lifetime away as well. It's kind of, it's mind-blowing, really, to think about. All right, so got my stitch marker. All right, this is exciting. We are gonna get the first part of this vest done after months of waiting. I have been reflecting on like the past year lately too. Just because life is so much different. In some ways it isn't, but in so many other ways it is. My life has really drastically changed in the past year. But also in some ways it hasn't. So I just am, I don't know, just taking stock. Patient, gentle with myself and others. Yeah. Definitely learning to be a lot kinder to myself and to not push myself in areas where I don't need to push myself anymore, you know? And to look for different areas to push myself as well. All right. It's really hard to be good to yourself sometimes, isn't it? Like, I've been trying to learn how to do that. It's not easy when you're like used to just being in denial mode for so long. And to just be like, actually, you know what? Life could be a bit nicer, you know? Life may not be nice to me, but I should be nice to me. That kind of has been an interesting mindset shift for me. And being gentle is just it's so nice. Hi, what a moat. Nice to see you. Things are all right. Like I said before, things are good in some areas and difficult in others, but I am still here, you know. I used to have a customer that would say to me, every day above ground is a good one. So, you know, I think I will say that as well, because I liked that message. It made me think about how grateful I am, you know, to be alive and to have the possibility of experiencing, a lot of the things that I do. It's cool. And to be positive, there's just not a lot of positivity around sometimes. You gotta make it for yourself. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. You can't let it defeat you, the bad things in life. You gotta find what's good about it. Because you could be endlessly you could just, if you're looking for fault, you could endlessly be digging up fault. But to see things that are good and to appreciate them is truly life-changing. It really is. You see things a lot better too. You recognize their value. And how are you doing, what emote? How are things with you? You miss Portland? We could talk about Portland. I have to say recently I've noticed a lot more of the police activity kicking up again. Oh, interesting. I haven't read any of her work. My friend did start a business that was, although it's morphed into kind of a whole other project now, but that was named after her. I'm doing some reading too. I had put it down for a little while because I got pissed off by something I read in here, but I'm reading this Games People Play by Eric Bernet. And it's about games analysts or games analysis where you're kind of viewing human behavior from the standpoint of game playing. And so it's been just kind of a really interesting breakdown of, I think, dynamics within relationships that are often unconscious that I've seen play out, not just in my own life, but in other people's. So that's been good. Have I read anything else? I mean, I've been reading. I don't even really know where to begin, but I never feel like I'm doing enough reading. I always feel like I don't read enough. And compared to some people that I know, I really don't, read enough, but I do enjoy what I read, and that's important, and it is good for me to I don't know, I had a conversation with my friend that came over and brought me that cider that, about when we come across things that we don't like or that are troubling to us when we're reading certain authors or historical pieces, you know, the importance of kind of like pushing ourselves through that so that we can, you know what we're talking about and know like the history of things and the progression of thought that has led us to now. But so yeah, I picked it back up and have been powering on and enjoying what I'm reading now, and getting value from it, at least, is what I will say. Deriving value from it, even though I had that like kind of experience. That's happened to me many times because I like to read, older, out of print books, and you do sometimes come across things that are just kind of alienating, and you gotta push through your own discomfort. You don't learn by being comfortable. And you don't think by being comfortable either. Yes, old people did say some shit. I agree. Old people really have some knowledge. It really makes you think about like all of the intergenerational strife that is perpetuated in this culture, where we're meant to utterly reject the knowledge and wisdom of generations prior, and to narcissistically pretend that like our generation is the one that knows what's going on every fucking time. Well, I don't know. I think millennials do know what's going on more than we've been given credit for, but I think it's just kind of like destroyed us. We've seen too much. We understand too much, and it makes living very hard. It makes us very old inside, I think. And also very young too, like, I don't know. It's interesting to think generationally, think about where we're at and where we're headed, and just seeing like, yeah, we have lived through some horrors, haven't we? I mean, it's been appalling what we have lived through. I'll say that. It has been appalling, a lot of it. The things that we have borne witness to since we were young. I mean, the loss of civil rights and freedoms that we've lived under, just the extent of imperialism that we've lived under, the guilt of it all. It's hard. It's hard to figure out how to like participate in society when you're like really deeply disturbed about society. That's just reality, and I don't think people like really have grasped that. That's what we're facing, this kind of collective. Not every millennial is this way, obviously, but I think for a lot of us it's been really hard to process moving functionally into adulthood, like given kind of how we watched generations before us respond, I think, in those times. And not only that, but like, figuring out how to survive in modern times too, I think has been challenging. I don't think people have really like thought about the impact of the way the economy has been on millennials as well, and like what that's done to the mindset generationally, because like we just don't, it's harder to invest, I guess, because there's been so many disappointments. So anyway, but that's enough of that. I don't really necessarily identify with all of that, but I do see it happening collectively as a phenomenon with people my age or around my age, like I just, or who kind of experienced the same, growing up in the same epoch, you know, it's just what we've dealt with. Oh, I missed a chat, sorry, what was that? Student debt, anyone? Yeah, I mean, very hard to feel motivated about life when you have a mountain of debt. It is, it's very hard because it just feels like you'll never get anywhere. And it's so easy to accrue. And it's just so much. It is so much. It is so much. I don't think we're given like the credit for being as resilient as we are, you know, or for being the tenacious survivors that we are. I think too, with the kind of experiences that seem to have defined this generation, I think not really given credit for how much we haven't let it get to us, you know? It's a very drizzly day, I have to say. It's gray and drizzly. It's nice. But it's still not warm enough to like really appreciate it. It still kind of is like, oh man, I'm cold, I don't want this. Yeah, I like the rain too. Sometimes it can be a bit like, it can get a little exhausting. Especially after you have like a few really incredible, like majestic sunny days like we get in spring here. It's just like, then the big dark clouds descend and you're like, okay, here we go again. I wasn't ready. I need another day. Okay, oh, that as well. Oh, God. right. Got one little sleeve there. Oh, I should leave that in there actually. Well, it's not a sleeve forming as such. It's more around the neck. The shoulder piece is. It's not the sleeve. I kind of misspoke, but yeah, it is an exciting form of the process. Cause yeah, it's gonna be a vest. It won't have sleeves, but I did make my first sweater this winter, which was a pretty awesome accomplishment that I felt very proud of. I've been crocheting a long time and never actually attempted to make a sweater, so the fact that I did was just really exciting. And it's pretty cool too, like, although it's a little bit, I don't know, it's my first sweater, so. Yeah, that's true, yeah. When you get to a different part and you're like, oh, okay, we're actually coming along here. Something different is progressing and it's gonna be cool, yeah. I really agree. Because yeah, I think one of the things that slowed me down with this project is how tedious a lot of the crocheting was. Just because I was doing the same thing for over and over for so long. But it's so gonna be worth it. I mean, this is just gonna be great, and I'm gonna be so proud of it once it's done. I just know it, and that's a good feeling too, where you can like be proud that you actually did this thing. And build something that's actually beautiful and wearable and functional, you know, it's such a good feeling. Awesome. Did I miss anyone's comment? No. No, because we're not a chatty bunch here, are we? We're just chilling. Are you crafting too? Did you grab any of your own crafts to do? Because I thought it'd be interesting to like host a craft hour at some point, like as a regular thing, just to chat and work on whatever. Making a pasta dinner, there we go. That's something. Crafting dinner. I have come up with a plan for my dinner as well. You don't have to apologize. You've been doing your share of chatting. It's other people who are silently watching, like, who are the problem. If everyone did their fair share, you know, then it'd just be a more functional place, but I know that's hard. What am I gonna have for dinner? My dinner plans were to actually make breakfast for dinner. So I'm going to do a scramble and have avocado toast with it because I have an avocado that I need to use. And I have like some sprouted grain bread that I need to use. So yeah, I just thought it would be a good meal to have. Also, like, I'm getting my groceries tonight, so I don't really want to cook. I'm very much the kind of person who like buys every week and then kind of like Sunday or at the weekend when I get my groceries again, usually. Not every week, but yeah, I'm usually like coming up with, what am I gonna have here? Also, I've been put on a kind of a strict diet because of my health issues recently, so I'm needing to also just kind of be mindful about what I'm eating. So yeah, and having to kind of go through things and figure out how I'm gonna differently craft meals, and just been a lot of thinking involved. So, but hopefully it works. Bye, Seth. It was nice to hear from you. I'm glad you're gonna be gardening. I hope it goes well. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's what I'm gonna make for dinner. It sounds right. Because I think, yeah, tomorrow I'm not likely to eat. I don't know. I feel kind of weird. I'm rarely like an eggs at breakfast kind of person. I prefer them kind of like in the evening. Especially if it's like an omelet or something. They want me to like eliminate dairy, but at least, I don't know. Dairy isn't actually a flare for me. Like, I know what my triggers are food-wise, and dairy isn't really, I don't really have a problem with it. I am kind of just cutting down in certain areas of dairy, so like, or like replacing, because I am trying to do more smoothies, just for like maximum fruit and vegetable intake. So that's an area where I'm not like using regular milk because it just is too much. So I probably will be cutting down, I think, milk itself. But I'm not eliminating dairy completely because just don't need to, and I like it, and it's like one of the nutrient dense foods that are easy for me to eat actually and don't cause me a lot of problems, so I'm on it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, my eating did decline this year with just like not feeling well, and I think also the isolation. You can easily fall into comfort eating, you know, or eating things like, because I had eliminated sugar for such a long time, that made its way back in my diet. So it's something that has to kind of be eliminated. Is this? I missed this big comment. Body reacts differently to plain milk than it does to cheese or yogurt. I think that your assumption there is correct, that it is probably down to, I think also maybe the bacteria that are in yogurt, and what else did you say? Cheese, yeah. Yeah, sugar, it creeped its way back into my life and was like, remember me? So yeah, I'm feeling like pretty good about this change that I'm on, and that the changes will in time kind of get me a little bit more energy, because the big thing I've been dealing with is fatigue. And I'm not I don't know, I'm also like, I have issues with getting to sleep at night because of like the pain that I'm in. So I'm just, you know, that's been hard. To be kind of tired and weak at the same time. It's just like, but yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that by trying to get this eating back in order, and kind of eating in a different way too. I think also like a lot of things have had to change, because I went from a really active lifestyle to a far more sedentary lifestyle. So that's had a lot of changes on my body too. I do not take pain meds. I'll just be quite frank. Any issue of pain management in terms of my condition has not been addressed by any doctor I've ever had. They may know how much pain I'm in, but in terms of trying to manage my pain with pain medication, it's never like, or I shouldn't say it's never, but I've only had like one doctor that ever took it like, you know, that seriously. So no, I don't take pain meds. What was that? And you know, it's fine though too, like, as well. Hi, you want to come say hi again? Do you want to say hi again? Are you famous? Did you want to say hi to your fans? Do you want to say hi to all your fans? Hi, they love you. Yeah, the camera loves you. The camera loves you. Oh, you're so sweet. How'd I get such a sweet cat? Oh, how'd I get so lucky? That's you. That's you. Yeah, I'm not gonna really complain about, I don't know, I mean, it's a mixed bag, right? Because you could be on pain medications and then, you know, potentially become addicted to them, and then your life can spiral out of control, like, very easily. Or you can just manage to live, like, every day knowing that you're gonna be in pain, and that's kind of how I've been. But I mean, this year it's just been excruciating, and it's really beyond, like, anything I can I don't know, that I had experienced before. What do you mean dislikes? We all have dislikes. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that too. Like, it keeps getting more and more scary, you know? Like, I don't want to take anything that could potentially, like, kill me very easily. You know what I mean? That's scary to me. I have been on some scary medications for treating this illness. No, no, no. You cannot be up there like that all the time. Scary in different ways, though. So another issue is that I went off of one of my medications in November, and so my body kind of has been through this process of, you know, going off of something that it was on for many years. You know, with autoimmune disorders, we get put on some pretty fucked up drugs a lot of the time. So I was having all kinds of issues with, I just realized I went over here. Whoops. I was having all kinds of issues with, healing and infections and that kind of thing, and I was just like, you know, I don't know that the cure is better, you know, the cure here is worse than the disease is how I've started to see it. So yeah, you know, it's rough. Life is a bitch, and then we die. Anyway, that's enough complaining about my medical issues. Let's talk about something a bit more pleasant. Please, please. Who the fuck are you, Karen? Like, what are you talking about? Why do you keep saying these things and then retracting them? Who cares? Who cares? I'm a polarizing figure. People don't like me. They are free to not like me. I probably don't like them. Like, oh no, you also don't like me? Wah. What? I'm just, however will I cope with yet another person not getting me or not liking me? Like, I don't have the energy to care about that. If you like me, fine. If you don't, also fine. I don't know why you watch, you know, I think maybe you're in denial if you think you hate me, but yet you continue to watch me. That to me implies a great deal of a great deal of passion for someone. Because I don't do that kind of shit when I don't like someone. I avoid them. Or maybe you're a masochist and you like to subject yourself to things that you don't like to punish yourself. I don't know. I'm not talking to Karen specifically, but I'm trying to talk about that phenomenon. I don't know. That's life. People don't like you sometimes. You gotta cope. I mean, damn. I mean, we could really talk about the reasons why people come to my videos and just dislike them without saying anything. I look fake. Look at all these people coming here and retracting their comments. That's some pretty fucked up that's a really weaselly move, isn't it? You know, you're gonna talk some shit, but you won't back it up and leave up your nasty comments. So I get to read them, so they get to be absorbed by me. but you won't have any accountability for the nasty shit you say. Now, that's a good way to live. That's a good way to live there. That'll come back very good for you in the long run. You keep up that kind of behavior, that's gonna serve you very well. I'll just say that. Who the hell are you, Connor McCockey? How the hell are you deleting comments? Who are these people? I'm literally the most boring fuck. I'm sitting here crocheting, talking about my health problems, and people are like doing this. Isn't that interesting? I don't know, man. Sometimes. I don't know. Are they bots? Seth, you came back. We've been infiltrated, Seth. I'm being cyberbullied. Again. Whatever will I do? Oh man, I fucking hate pork chops. Can I just say that? Oh man. No offense. Like, that's cool that you were cooking for your partner, but that's like one food that I just like have a really strong reaction to. I think as a child, like, I really was disgusted by them. Yeah, some people love them. They were a food that I was just like, hell no, hell no. Well, people are retracting their comments before I can even read them at this point. Ha! Yeah, I don't like most chicken either, actually. Like, and preparing it, I am not touching it. Raw chicken? Fuck no. It is so gross. So gross. I've done it a few times, like, but I just have an aversion to it. I think that's a big part of, like, why I became a vegetarian as young as I did, because I just had a really strong aversion to handling and cooking meat that has been, I can't really get rid of that. Even though logically I'm like, you feel better when you eat red meat, like, you have more energy, you have more force, but like, the preparation of it is really a challenge, and I'm still trying, even though like I'm 35, I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. I don't know, people are just being jerks. I mean, you've watched me for a long time, you know that people are jerks. You know I inspire people's hatred. Yeah, I mean, it's rough. I mean, you're handling a dead animal, and it's, you know, it's quite, the realness of it has always been hard. Get back to class. That's right. It's Sunday. Who's in class on a Sunday? That is not the will of God as far as I know it. Okay, let's see. Yeah. I found it, yeah, that it's mentally restrictive. It's hard, you know. I think you just gotta, sometimes we have to get over like these aversions, you know. You can, just to function, but yeah, it's hard. It's hard to kind of, that's pretty gross, Sam, but yeah, I understand. All kinds of thoughts flowed through my head. How did it die? How was its life? All of that. Hi, Ivan. Thank you. Good to hear from you and your cat. And I'm glad that you enjoy seeing Nero as well. And it's just the reality, you know. You're gonna have a lot of the times those thoughts and feelings come up. It's just. Oh, did I do this right or did I just mess up? Yeah, that was a mess up. Okay, so where am I here? Okay, there we go. They're making fun of my lips. Can you believe this, everyone? Making fun of my lips, of all things. They're like one of my nicest features, and you're saying such mean things about them. You must be very jealous. That is all I can figure. You've probably got some little no lip having ass face. You're not gonna make me feel bad about my lips. That is not okay. They said I looked fake, which, you know, there are fake things about me. I can be very fake. People be like, "How are you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm fine." You know, I can be very fake. Oh, you're making granny squares. Good, good. I haven't done granny squares in a while. I had a bunch of them saved. I wanted to like make a blanket out of all the ones I saved, but I never did. I ended up just tossing them. It's a lot of work though. People are fake. Like everybody has things about them that are fake. How can I be genuine all the time and like function? You know, if I were to be genuine to like all the time, I would get stuck, I think, a lot in really trivial shit. But sometimes a little fakeness goes a long way. You know, sometimes it's the healthiest response to a situation. Like, sad to say, but it's true. All right, so yeah, go back. Look how this is coming along. Isn't this great? Ah, have my front very soon. This is going to be so nice. Can you call me a bot? Someone said, a queen-size bedspread of granny squares. That sounds awesome. I've never really, actually a blanket is never something that I've made either. I kind of find that I would get very bored of it, like that long doing the same thing. Yes, I love sushi. I do love sushi. I had sushi on Friday, actually. Had a really great bunch of sushi. It was awesome. Yeah. The important thing is to recognize when you're wearing the mask and like what its function is and what like character you are playing, and to have some kind of consciousness of that. I think we sometimes forget that we are consistently like making those changes. I do like fish somewhat. I'm very kind of picky in general, you know. I grew up eating a lot of salmon, so salmon is like definitely a comfort food. I like fish steaks. I love like tuna steaks, that kind of thing are very delicious. And I'm getting, you know, I don't like a lot of sushi either. I'm very picky about what I get there, and like half of it was vegetarian sushi anyway, you know, so there's that. But there's a few things that I like, and it's nice to enjoy. It's a really good sushi place not far from where I live too that I can get, you know, sometimes. I haven't really like bought and cooked sweet potatoes in a long time. I used to love making them. I used to love roasting sweet potatoes and beets together. Yeah, I do like a lot of Japanese food. That's cool that you have access like that. There's another really good Japanese place in town that does like these kind of curries. They're called dorias. Oh my god. Oh my god. It was introduced to me by like my old coworker who lived in Japan. Or he actually lives in Japan now, but that was not nice. Why would you say something so unkind to me about my head? They're like making fun of my appearance, and now this queen-sized head. I do not deserve this level of cyberbullying. I do not. So mean. You would like to see my work so far? Thank you. I don't know what I'm doing with my hair right now. Like, I've been thinking about it. I've kind of gotten bored of like the bowl cut look that I've had the past few years, but I'm also like not sure what I'm gonna do next. Thank you. That's so nice. It's nice to have a compliment about my appearance when people are saying mean things about it. It's like so absurd. It's just, it's kind of like, it's funny how absurd it is. Yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking about that, like, because I have really cool wavy hair, and I do want to kind of, I want that to be visible, so I do want a little bit of length, but I don't want it to be like, you know, a cumbersome, like I need hair that I can do very quickly, and that isn't like, you know, I like to just let my hair be wild, you know, so it's important that I not have very much of it or it will get very wild. Um, and also it's thick, so I don't like to spend a lot of time on things like that. It doesn't seem like a good use of time. So yeah, I'm thinking about that right now too. Like, Maybe I'll do something different. I don't know. We'll see. Probably should get out of here soon. It is nice when the hair is soft, I agree. Like, is mine soft? It's all right. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's coarse. It is soft hair. Even the gray bits. I am sending idiots to dislike this video. I am? Are you one of them? Message retracted. Wow. It's kind of, I mean, it's funny. I don't know. It's not the worst trolling I've experienced, so it's pretty boring. So in terms of like in terms of what I've been through, you know, this is pretty mild. So oh, someone got put in time out. Damn. I don't even know what was said. Like, I know there was like a second comment, but I didn't see it. I don't know if they need therapy or if they need like a productive hobby or like to go spend some time with their friends or family, or maybe to go outside, you know, like maybe they should pick up a hook and some yarn. Let me tell you, when you like do something nice with your time, it's just so much better. You do something that's productive, that you can look back and like see that you've accomplished something over time. There's just no rush like that. I would love to touch some grass. I was thinking today about how nice it would be to just go to the park and like put my bare feet in some grass. You know how good that would feel. Oh God. I am hoping that I can do that soon. Getting around has been difficult, but I think, you know, maybe I can arrange it that once it warms up a little bit, a friend and I can go to like the park or something and just I can be outside, you know, with help. It would be nice because it's been hard being inside as much as I have this winter. Like I said, I went from being very active to very inactive, and it's been a hard adjustment. And a lot of it is out of my control, but I just, you know, I want to be outside. I want to be in nature. It's how I am, you know. I want to see my animal friends. Like, I haven't seen a squirrel in so long. Like, all the squirrels that live in my neighborhood, I haven't been able to say hi or leave them food. Or, like, the birds, you know, little things like that. I love stripes, too, yeah, and I saw this pattern on a tutorial. It's like a kind of houndstooth effect that it creates by doing this type of stitch. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a really kind of nice pullover, warm but loose, baggy kind of thing. I'm very into it. Very, very into it. It's gonna be nice. I know it's gonna be something that I'm gonna be very happy with. Well, I should probably get going. It's been a little over an hour and a half here. And I do have other things to attend to. So thank you all for visiting with me today and doing some of your own work alongside me and just chatting with me about whatever. Yeah, it's nice. It's good for me to kind of be just talking, you know. I haven't been in a long time feeling like verbalizing, but it is good for me to do so. So thank you for being an audience for me to speak to. And yeah, I'll see you around. I'm around, you know. Things are a lot right now, but I am around and I am always thinking. Only 20? Yeah, honey, I have videos with thousands of dislikes. You're gonna have to work a lot harder to bother me, okay? Do you know who I am and what I've been through? That doesn't bother me. That 20 people came here and disliked this video. You could do a lot better. All right, bye. I hope so too, thank you.